Jamie.
See you. Our very first episode of Pivot CX Expanded Plus.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh man, this is going to be great. This is such a fun project that we've been working on. And so to start out, I just want to welcome anyone who's listening. Thank you so much for joining us. Kind of give you a little bit of background on myself. I'm Jamie, and this is Lisa. Lisa, you want to start by telling our listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Lisa, obviously. I am from Texas, born and raised. I currently live in Fort Worth, Texas. And I've been working since I was 17 years old, Jamie. I was just thinking about that. I've been working since I was 17 years old, and I've been in different industries. I've worked in retail, I've worked in restaurants, I've even worked in private aviation, and most currently I'm working in the event technology field. Well, not really currently working in the event technology field anymore, due to the things that are going on right now, which we're actually going to talk about today.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned you worked in private aviation, which is, of course, is where we met about 10 years ago. I also started working when I was really young. I'm native Texan as well. I think that's fun to highlight that we're both born and raised Texans. I was born a little further west than you, but I worked like 3 jobs when I was in high school simultaneously while, working at or being an athlete. So work ethic, I think, is something that we knew we had in common from the first time we met, and we hit it off. My entire professional career as an adult has been in private aviation, as you know, from customer service to operations and brand manager, and then the last few years I've been living in the Houston area, and I work in the technology side of aviation. So really focusing on software that is user driven and has a great user experience, which helps enable the customer experience in the long run. So it's exciting. We have so much fun together. We knew from, 5 seconds into meeting that this was going to be a lifelong friendship, I think. We had so much fun on that first meeting and it's only multiplied every time we hang out. So.
Absolutely.
So let's give the listeners a little bit of a preview of what they can expect from this podcast. The title obviously might fall flat on some if you're not a fan of our favorite show, and for that we apologize, but we're not that sorry because we're not changing it. This is really a podcast that's, to me, it's for all levels, right? If you're just starting out in the workforce, you want some tips and tricks for how to elevate providing a good customer experience, or if you're a longtime manager, we're going to have guests on that provide some real expertise based on their experience and their background. So I really think it addresses and can be beneficial for a very large group of people. Obviously, that's our hope. It's super successful. I would love for you to share with our listeners, I know it's your favorite part of every episode, the could you be any more awesome small business spotlight.
Yes, absolutely. It's totally my favorite part, getting to spotlight a company that's just recognized for their service, customer service, customer experience. And the best part is that, these companies aren't coming to us saying, oh, we're so awesome, can you spotlight us? This is either us or our guest getting to recognize somebody that they really admired and they really had a great customer experience with their company. And so we're going to get to spotlight them and just get to really recognize what they're doing.
Virtual high five, right?
Absolutely.
Super exciting. So let's dive in. Obviously, part of this episode was just focused on telling people what to expect, but the other half we want to focus on the title of this, which was We Were on a Break, one of our favorite series episodes from the show, but really kind of talking about post-COVID as the world starts to kind of migrate back into a new norm, but kind of getting back out there into the world. What can businesses do? What can they continue to do right now to prepare for this transition and for this new norm? Because I don't think things are ever going to go back to being the way they were before. Even if it's a different version of that, I think that businesses really do have to kind of pivot whatever their strategy was 3 years ago to kind of look to the future and best prepare for what the new norm is.
Yeah, definitely. Pivoting to this new norm is going to be it's going to be different, but people are getting creative and innovative with new ways of reaching out to customers and having that interaction, keeping the relationships going and not losing sight of what is important, and that's your customer.
Yeah, I know. We've seen a lot of companies really stepping up their game, you know. I mean, there was a local bar in Houston, and even if this isn't your personal preference, you know, obviously they were used to being full to capacity, serving their customers, and then all of a sudden this hit, they should be taking a big hit on, you know, revenues. They got all these employees that can't work, and what do? They start a delivery service, an adult ice cream truck, so to speak. We have friends that received a special delivery from them, and it's just such a fun experience, and it's nothing that you can't make on your own at home. You could go out and buy the little, you know, mini liquors and kind of make up your own margarita or daiquiri mix, but it's just that experience, that beautiful presentation, having it delivered. You're almost giddy just like you are as a kid when you're running out to the ice cream truck and when you're running to the liquor truck. Like, it's such a fun customer experience. And what did they do? As soon as they experienced that, they shared it with all their friends. Like, oh my gosh, guys, look what just happened in our neighborhood. And what did I do? Instantly, I researched to see if they were going to be in my neighborhood. And that's really what it's all about, is getting your customers to be that marketing campaign for you. You don't have to pay them. They're paying you, and they're marketing your brand and your business. So I thought that was a really cool example of how one local business is really being innovative during this trying time. And hopefully other businesses are kind of taking note of businesses that are doing that and adjusting and tweaking their strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of the adult ice cream truck. You know, you hear the music and you're like, I know what that is.
I wonder what music they play. You think it was like Margaritaville or something? It's probably got to be Jimmy Buffett or something, right?
I think I get Jimmy Buffett for sure. Yeah,
Maybe we can have them on an episode in the future and kind of pick
I
their
would
brain about this.
I would love that.
I was really disappointed to find out they weren't coming to my neighborhood.
I know, that's a shame.
So when we were talking about innovation and companies really trying to think outside the box of what they normally would, I found it really interesting. A couple weeks ago, the CEO of McDonald's, Chris Kempczynski, and I hope I didn't just butcher his last name, but I thought it was really interesting. One of the quotes that stuck with me from that interview, he said, "This is an innovation problem as much as a public health problem." And that really resonated with me because I think that so many businesses are struggling with thinking that they have to be super creative or spend all of this money on technology or updating their websites or whatever. And I don't think I don't think they need to overstress about it. I think, you know, our good friend Erica Palmer, who runs Purpose Marketing, they posted something as well, and it was like, just do something every day, whether it's creating a blog, doing a podcast, you know, doing one new social media campaign. Just do something. It's progress, not perfection, right? We're all trying to navigate through this new world, and we're all learning as we go. So I think that should really be the focus for your team, is whatever you're doing a great job. Just keep doing something, and then eventually you're going to start to find your new groove, your new rhythm, and things will start to fall into place. But you can't just sit back and panic. Or I think a huge mistake for small businesses right now would be, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. It's just not going to happen. I don't foresee that. I think that you just have to look at it as there's going to be a new way of doing things. There's going to be a new way of interacting with our customers. So we just have to get something out there to let them know we're still here. We're still thriving. We still care about you. We still care about your business. And I think that's going to go a long ways in surviving through this tough time.
I think so too. Saying things are going to go back to normal. I mean, this is the new normal, right? Everything's changing: sports, live events, church, and you just kind of have to, as you said, you have to thrive. You have to keep pushing through and just keep going.
Obviously, not to put you on the spot, but you mentioned earlier in your intro, you're not currently working, you're on furlough, because you were in an industry that was hit extremely hard because it was all you did was travel to live conventions, events, large gatherings of people, which is non-existent right now. So I know that part of your old company is currently doing well, and it seems like that might be the direction things are going to go, at least probably for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. They are doing virtual events, and it's different. They're kind of learning as they go. Clients are a little scared of it, but I think once people actually just give it a go, it's not the same, but it's something. It's still gathering your people together and discussing, whatever it is you do and growing that way.
Yeah, and I think that people will find in some ways it might bring us closer. I know that a lot of families have been having fun, doing Zoom happy hours. You and I hosted a baby shower where we had so many people that normally wouldn't have been able to attend the baby shower that were there. And I think the mom to be really appreciated that and getting to see all of them. So you still have to see the silver lining and everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One of the cool things that I know we talked about a couple of weeks ago when we were going through kind of the bullet points that we wanted to address on our episodes was once you really dive into the customer experience and you start focusing, you feel rewarded, right? When somebody walks away from an experience that you help provide and they are happy, you feel rewarded, and that starts to trickle into other areas of your life. So that's kind of the CX expanded plus. You almost can mark out that customer and it just becomes experience, right? It plays into with your family, with your friends, with anyone you interact with, because you realize how much better it is when you try to make other people's lives better and other people's experiences with interacting with you better.
I agree 100%. That expanded plus, we're going to go deep.
Thank you all for joining us. We're excited to do this journey with you. We've reached the point in our segment, our favorite customer spotlight, the Could You Be Any More Awesome? And Lisa, you have brought us today's small business that we're going to spotlight for episode 1. Can't wait for you to tell us about them.
I did. I'm so excited that I get to choose our first company to spotlight. And the company we're spotlighting today is the Club at Haslet. They are a protein drink, energy drink, nutrition shop. And I was introduced to this shop by my Camp Gladiator trainer, Jason Lerma, when COVID didn't allow for more than 10 people to gather. We couldn't work out at schools anymore, which was our main location. So Brittany opened her doors to us. Well, I guess she opened her parking lot, really. And she let us do a Camp Gladiator workout in her parking lot. And Jamie, to circle back around to what you were saying earlier, companies just doing something, be out there. So Brittany had her phone out and she did a Facebook Live of our workout. Yours truly was in the main shot. We won't talk about that. And, after the workout, she opened her doors. We got half off protein drinks and teas. She even had protein donuts, free protein donuts.
What?
Yeah, so cute. It was so nice. And just being in there was so welcoming. You could just tell that she cared and just really wanted everybody to have a good experience and gave suggestions on what we might like. So it was really great. And not just to isolate my overall experience with them, I wanted to read an online review from Facebook.
Great.
So this is what someone said. Had the club at Haslet for the first time today, and it was amazing. The protein waffles were yummo. The shake was so good, my 4-year-old daughter kept stealing it. I highly recommend the sour Skittles drink. To top things off, service was like being at the Ritz, top notch. So the club at Haslet, thank you for all you do. Hope you guys are thriving and doing well. And, I just feel so nice, with the COVID going on, still being able to support them with their free deliveries and to-go orders. So it's just been nice being able to help them out. And go check it out if you're in the Haslet Fort Worth area.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great to have that validation too. It's not just your experience with that particular workout. There are others that feel the same way, and to compare them to the Ritz, I mean, the leaders in customer experience, that's awesome. So great job to the club at Haslet. Keep doing what you're doing, and we hope that you are successful for a long, long time. So thanks everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Pivot.
Yeah, thanks,
We look
y'all.
forward to talking to you more and enjoying a lot more episodes together. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.